Hey everybody, this is Brandon Polea with the Center for Excellence in Teaching here at LCCC again. I'm a little bit late to the draw on this one, but we did get our most recent update of Canvas on the 25th of August, so about 5 days ago on Saturday. Now, over the course of that update, something that occurred started causing errors with the new scheduler workflow. So here in the calendar, last month, one thing that I went over is the workflow to do appointment groups. That had to be turned off for just a couple of days. So as of last night, it's back on. You no longer see the scheduler icon over here. You go through that new workflow of clicking the plus and then adding an appointment group with all of the options there. So that's something that is not on the release notes, but over the past 5 days that has occurred. It's now fixed. No data should have been lost. If you're experiencing any issues with that, just let CET know or call Canvas support and put in a ticket for that. So on to the release notes. The first thing up, I'm on the calendar for a reason, on the appointment group topic. So if you make an appointment group and you put in all those details for it, you know, there's all the extra stuff that you can put in. The details right here used to not come over with your calendar feed. So now the update, they do come over. So all of those details will be there for anybody who accepts a calendar appointment based in an appointment group. Now, the next piece that I want to look at is actually a student improvement, which is very nice. So if I come in here to my content, I can look and add requirements. So I can go in here and I can say, you know, for any of these pieces in here, any of these pages, the requirement is that I'm going to have somebody mark it as done. That's a requirement to complete that module, which then I can set as a prerequisite to get into the next module, or I can use it in a variety of different ways. Now, previously with the new list view for students, if you're unfamiliar with that, I can take you to the dashboard real quick. Mine's a little bit interesting, but it demonstrates it regardless. If I go into list view, you can see with my old current activity, there's nothing I need to do. But up here you can see all of the assignments as people were putting me in as a test student in their courses. When you had something using mark as done, so that is that requirement that we just set for this module here to mark something as done, list view didn't sync with that. So now it does, so that students aren't confused. Hey, I've already done that. Well, you have. Now everything syncs just fine. So next up are Learning Mastery Gradebook changes. These are feature options you have to turn on for yourself. So they're going to be in your settings in your course, and then you can click on feature options and you've got a few things you can enable here. Learning Mastery Gradebook is one of them. It deals with outcomes, which most of you should be familiar with at this point, and it gives information on folks you have assessed in your course based on the outcomes that you've pulled in. So those would be, right now, institutional competencies for most people, but they would also be course competencies if you have them in there. Now, we can look at Learning Mastery Gradebook just by clicking on grades. You'll notice that there's a student option as well. So I'm in Learning Mastery Gradebook. I can switch back and forth between grades and Learning Mastery just with the context icons over here. Now, I haven't assessed anybody yet, and so the new filters that are here are hide outcomes with no results. You'll see all of my columns disappear because I haven't assessed anybody, or I can hide students without results. So you'll notice that all my students in here disappear. So those are new filters so that you can kind of get right down to your data. You'll notice that there are contexts that come out here as well. You can see how folks are assessed and all of that stuff. So Learning Mastery Gradebook is pretty cool. The last piece is actually a student feature. So I'm going to go in, I'm going to click on Home so I can get to my student view here. We'll go ahead and impersonate a student. And then we'll go to the grades area. So I've turned on the Student Learning Mastery Gradebook, so now I can look at the Learning Mastery area here. You can see there are 7 competencies that have been put in here, but the new thing is that I can put my mouse over the little I, the information button, and actually get all of that information that we already know on the back end. So how is everything, so mastery, how is that calculated? All of that information about that. So including any submissions that the student had. So that's new as well. The only other thing to look at is there have been quite a few bug fixes as well, so a ton for accessibility. Highly recommend you check out the release notes, if not the user summary, which we'll post a link to here as well. But in modules, when you duplicate a module, so let me go ahead, I'm going to go ahead and close that. It's going to be upset with me for a minute because I'm a student still. We'll stop acting as the student. One of the new features that was added was the ability to duplicate modules. So I can go in here and duplicate a module. Previously, any prerequisites or requirements or any dates that were put on that duplicated as well. Those have now been omitted so that when you duplicate a module, it duplicates all the content, the organization, everything like that, but it allows you to set dates, prerequisites, and requirements separately so that it's not confusing for your students or you don't accidentally leave those in there when you didn't mean to have them in the first place. So I hope this has been helpful. That's the release notes, nothing gangbusters this time around, but our next release will be 3 weeks from the 25th, so we'll be looking at right around the middle of September at that point. Hopefully your fall semester is off to a great start. Remember, you've got 24/7 support through your help menu over here, a lot of options as to how to do that. You can also always contact the CET, and if you need any of our information, check out the faculty resources site. You can find, first off, our contact information, email, phone number, as well as our blog, cet@lccc.wy.edu or 307-778-4363.